And it means we're constantly putting ourselves in this state of sustained alert, what Marian calls cortisol intoxication. It keeps the sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight system, switched on all the time. And this chronic cortisol intoxication, it leads to real physical changes. Like across the board, you often see hair loss. In survival mode, hair is an essential, right? So cortisol inhibits the follicle recovery. Hair gets brittle, falls out.
Okay, that makes sense. And skin.
Skin changes too. Cortisol messes with fibroblasts, which make collagen, so more wrinkles, age spots, maybe even skin color changes. It literally ages your skin.
And what about breathing, that chest tightness people feel?
Yeah, cardiopulmonary issues, that constant chest depression, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, it's very common.
And muscles. People always complain about tension.
Exactly. Muscular tension. Muscles stay clenched, ready to fight or flee. Leads to stiffness, chronic pain, those knots in your shoulders, generalized aches. And internally, it causes hormonal imbalance, disrupts estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, affects the whole endocrine system. But maybe the biggest insight is the immune system dysfunction. This is critical.
Right, you said acute stress might be anti-inflammatory, but chronic stress.
Chronic stress breaks that link. The immune system stops listening to cortisol's calm down signals.
So it just stays inflamed.
Precisely. It leads to this dangerous, latent, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Not acute red-hot inflammation, but this constant simmering background inflammation.
And that shows up as things like gastritis, gut issues, skin problems.
Exactly. Gastritis, gastroenteritis, tonsillitis, irritable bowel syndrome, dermatitis. It's like your body's always slightly on fire internally.
And that constant inflammation can then trigger a whole cascade of other physical and psychological problems. A vicious cycle.
A really vicious cycle.
Okay, let's talk about the gut. That gut feeling we get before an exam, a first date. There's a reason for that, right? The second brain.
Absolutely. The digestive system has this huge network of neurons, almost like a brain itself. What we think and feel directly impacts it. It's a two-way street, that gut-brain axis. And it's fascinating how stress hits our gut health. Inside your intestines, you have these tiny villi for absorbing nutrients.
Yeah.
And you have the microbiota, that crucial balance of good and bad bacteria.
Which is super important for digestion, immunity.
Fundamental. Marian says it's one of the hottest areas in medicine right now. But chronic stress, that constant cortisol drip, along with a poor diet, it really messes up that delicate microbiota balance. And when that balance is off, it can damage the gut lining. Intestinal permeability leads to leaky gut.
Leaky gut, where things get into the bloodstream that shouldn't.
Exactly. Undigested food, toxins, they leak through the compromised gut lining and become toxic systemically. And now research is linking this leaky gut to neurological issues, even neurodegenerative diseases. The gut-brain connection is incredibly profound.
Common symptoms being gas, bloating.
Yeah, fermentation, gas, abdominal bloating. Marian suggests a simple check. Look at your gums. Do they bleed easily? Or notice how your stomach feels after eating certain foods. Those can be signs of general inflammation.
So besides the physical toll, what about the psychological side of being constantly alert?
Oh, it's huge. First, irritability. When your system's always on edge, you're just more vulnerable. You snap easily. Little things set you off.
A short fuse syndrome.
Totally. Then, sleep disturbances.
Yeah.
We touched on this, but difficulty falling asleep. Waking up frequently, often around 3 or 4 a.m. with anxiety or sleeping loads, but still feeling exhausted. Because you're not getting that deep restorative sleep. Your body never fully repairs. And this is a really key point Marian makes. Many depressions actually stem from these permanent states of alert.
So it's not just sadness, it's a physiological response to chronic stress.
Often, yes. After intense periods of challenge or worry, even after success, like her husband passing tough exams, the brain physiologically enters a kind of recovery state. Sadness, apathy, it's a natural dip.
And knowing that helps.
Immensely, as she says, to understand is to alleviate. Knowing why you feel that way, that it's a biological process, takes away a lot of the fear and self-blame. It allows for self-compassion.
Okay, so given this deep connection between mind and body and how vulnerable we are to stress and frustration, what can we actually do? How do we manage this?
Well, the number one recommendation, really for everyone, is to get a basic understanding of how you function, how your specific mind and body work, and especially how you react to pressure. Self-awareness is step one, which leads to the question, what's your unique stress signature? You know, when the pressure's on, do you get back pain, blurred vision, skin flare-ups, gut problems, or maybe neurological things like that eyelid twitch?
Knowing your personal alarm signals.
Exactly. Recognizing those signals early lets you know when your system's getting overloaded, so you can intervene before it becomes a crisis. And beyond the physical, she really pushes for a kind of psychological self-diagnosis. Understand your personality traits. Are you shy, sensitive, impulsive, obsessive, perfectionistic, distrustful, maybe overly dependent on others' opinions, insecure? Then, what are your typical psychological responses? Anxiety, panic, sadness, and critically, what triggers your alert mode? Certain people, situations, memories. Identifying those triggers is key to regaining control.
It's like understanding how your personality shifts under pressure, right?
Precisely. The sensitive person becomes vulnerable, maybe emotionally volatile. The shy person freezes up. The impulsive one gets more aggressive. The overthinker gets stuck in obsessive loops. The perfectionist feels constantly dissatisfied.
And understanding that pattern brings relief.
Huge relief. It stops being this mysterious, scary thing. It becomes a map you can use to navigate your inner world more effectively. And connecting this to overall well-being, Marian really emphasizes living an anti-inflammatory life. Because, as we discussed, so many people are likely walking around with this low-grade chronic inflammation due to stress.
So diet plays a role here.
A big role. Not about obsession, she cautions, but making informed choices. Many common foods are pro-inflammatory. Eating well consistently should be the rule, not the exception, to actively support your body.
And sleep. You called it the ultimate repair kit. It seems so fundamental.
It absolutely is. When sleep goes wrong, everything else tends to follow. Sleep is when your mind, body, immune system, everything repairs itself. The hippocampus consolidates memories.
It's non-negotiable, really.
Totally non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If you're not sleeping well, you're undermining everything else.
So tips for better sleep: avoid heavy dinners, alcohol, and screens, right? That blue light.
Definitely. Be super mindful of screen light before bed. It blocks melatonin, the sleep hormone.
So prioritizing sleep means making conscious choices about evenings, screens. It's an investment.
A crucial investment in your entire well-being. Then, in terms of mindful living, it's about finding healthy habits, nurturing relationships, identifying those healthy escape routes activities that genuinely relieve stress, help evaporate cortisol.
Like exercise.
Exercise, yes.
Yeah.
Regular healthy activity is key. But importantly, not excessive exercise, which can actually trigger the alert mode in some people. Finding that balance is crucial, and working on that inner voice. Consciously making it supportive, not self-sabotaging. How do you talk to yourself? It matters hugely. And then the idea of surrounding yourself with vitamin people, being really intentional about who you spend time with.
Avoiding the energy vampires.
Essentially, yes. Sometimes the core problem is being around people who constantly put you on alert. Seek out those who uplift and calm you.
It really comes down to balancing the nervous system, doesn't it? We're not built for constant sympathetic activation, that alert mode.
Not at all. A little bit can boost performance short-term, sure.
Yeah.
But prolonged exposure just leads to burnout and illness. So the goal is to consciously learn to switch. From the sympathetic alert, cortisol-driven, to the parasympathetic, the relaxation, rest and digest system.
Through things like meditation, deep breathing, connection.
Yes. Connecting with yourself, others, something bigger. Intentionally shifting into that parasympathetic mode lets your body, mind, and immune system recover, repair, and get ready to face challenges more effectively from a place of calm.